Imagine building the next Facebook, Snapchat, or TikTok. Most people think it's about a genius idea or a flashy launch party. But the truth? Success comes from understanding people, experimenting relentlessly, and solving real human needs, sometimes in ways that breaks all rules. After years working with social apps, we have learned something critical. It's not the big ideas that wins. It's the process, iteration, and timing. Today I'll walk you through a playbook for social app success. So let's go. Why do people download a new app and keep using it? Typically because it addresses one of a few core human drives: love, money, or play. The biggest social products usually hit at least one of these. Dating apps obviously tap into love and companionship. LinkedIn and professional networks tap into money, career, and ambitions. Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat are largely about play and social entertainment. TikTok is pure play and fun. On the flip side, if your app's main pitch is something like meet up with friends more easily or another convenience that doesn't tie strongly to a core drive, beware. Coordinating plans with friends is something people can already do with a simple group chat. It's not a burning unsolved need that would compel someone to download yet another app. Many social apps focused on casual meetups or networking have fizzled because they were not essential in users' life. If your idea doesn't clearly fit love, money, or play, think hard how whether it will truly pull users in. This doesn't mean that every app must be a dating app, a finance tool, or a game, but it should speak to deeper human motivations. Even something as freely seeming as meme-sharing apps succeed, not just because memes are funny, but because it gives people social currency and a sense of belonging to a joke community. So dig into psychology. What itch you are really scratching? Make sure it's one people need scratch, not just nice to have. When launching a social product, don't be afraid to start extremely small. Facebook began in one Harvard dorm. Snapchat caught fire with Southern California high schoolers. Narrow audiences lets you build something that resonates deeply, and that passionates your early base, they ignite growth. Keep the flashy nationwide launch. If your app only works when everyone adopts it at once, you're doomed. Instead, focus on a contained community. One college campus, one city, even a subreddit where you can refine the experience. Success in one small market often predicts success everywhere else. If you fall in a few communities, better to pivot before burning the full audience. Conventional wisdom says you should make users sign up as quick as possible. But here is contrarian take one from real experience. A longer sign-up flow is fine if it leads to a more activated user. Ask new users to pick topics of interest, upload photo, follow 5 friends, and join a group, all before they see their main feed. Yeah, that's more stuff than a one-tap sign up, but a user who complete them is far more likely to find immediate value. Apps like LinkedIn and Facebook have historically asked for quite a bit of info upfront, but their data help tailor the experience and connect users faster. The key is to monitor your activation rate. If 80% of users who start signing up finish it and these users stick around, the longer flow is worth it. If you find a lot of people dropping off, you can always streamline. Better 100 full activated users than 1,000 who leave because the app felt empty. Focus on activation, not just sign-ups. Here is a lesson founders often forget. Users don't stay for a pretty interface, they stay for people and content. The cold start problem is real. How do you make an app useful for the first users before a network exists? Google Plus looked great, but it felt empty. Discord succeeded because gamers brought the content themselves. Design and polish matter, but the networks come first. Your early focus should be on activating communities and encouraging sharing. Every new user should naturally bring others, whether through invitation, content sharing, or building social loops. No social app even hit millions without a viral loop. Virality isn't luck, it can be designed. The goal here is a positive feedback loop where each session naturally leads to more users, creating exponential growth. Take Tinder. One swipe leads to matches, notification pull others in, and the cycle repeats. Or Snapchat. You send a snap to 5 friends, they open it, respond, and send to more friends. One action sparks many more. a chain reaction of engagement. As a founder, design your product so that activity leads to more activity. It could be referral mechanics, content sharing, or in-stock social mechanics. Aim for a viral coefficient. Each user brings in more than one new user. This is how Facebook spread across campuses and Slack grew entire companies from a single sign-up. Getting users to open your app once is easy, but making them come back every day, that's the hard part. Habit formation happens when users see your app outside. After people install your app, they need to see your content everywhere to remind them that your app exists. In practice, that means you should encourage and facilitate content sharing or integration with bigger platforms. For example, Instagram's early growth exploded because photos shared to Facebook and Twitter nudged users to open the app again. Similarity with TikTok, videos spread like wildfire across YouTube and Instagram, pulling new audience in and keeping them engaged. Another crucial aspect of habit building is designing for distracted or casual context. Think about how and when people might use a social app. Waiting in line, riding a bus, bored at home, even on the toilet. If opening your app doesn't fit into these bite-sized life moments, they simply won't form a regular habit. Your users will have less opportunities to stick with it. Snapchat succeeds because users could dip in and out for quick snaps, perfect for bite-sized life moments. Your goal is to design your product for quick, frequent engagement. Short content, easy actions, and the ground notification that reminds users of activity can all encourage people to make your app a daily habit. You want users to be able to open your app for 30 seconds, get value, and close it repeatedly, day after day. One of the smallest early moves in marketing your product is so hyper-rarely so it's almost uncomfortable to a tightly defined audience. That means tailoring your branding, messaging, and even the product itself to niche communities so directly that it almost feels early narrow. But this is exactly what works on the early stage. The only way to push through the noise of the App Store is to be unapologetic about marketing to your first users. If your first users are Stanford students, go ahead and call the app Stanford Memes. It's hard enough to get a flywheel spinning without being obnoxiously relevant. Facebook started with Harvard students. Tinder launched it in a select college campuses. Focus on one community, dominate it, and then expand. Early intensity fuels long-term growth. Another trick, launch when people are most open to change, like Facebook rode the freshman rush. LinkedIn targeted first-time job seekers, and Slack grew with forming startups teams. Ask yourself, is there a natural moment in a people's life when they will be looking for what I'm offering? If yes, plan your marketing and initial outreach to hit users right at that moment. Not all users are equal when launching a social platform. Early adopters should be obsessive, like gamers, teens, and hobbyists. They will live in your app and invite friends, creating a viral momentum. Discord is a perfect example. It started as a chat app for gamers who needs better coordination. Gamers built servers, invited friends, and made Discord lively. That base let Discord expand to other communities, but it won in Beachhead with that obsessed growth. Snapchat, TikTok, the same story. Teens set trends while older users caught up later. Don't rely on older audience at launch. The number of social products that took off among older audience can be counted on a finger. Habits are harder to form and attention is limited. Facebook didn't start with grandparents. It started with the college kids and spread upward. Find a user base that loves your product so much they will use it religiously and tell others. Even if that user base is small or not the most lucrative initially. They will be the engine that attracts the next cohort. If nobody hates your product, nobody really loves it either. Bold product excites some people and offers others. That's a good sign. Take Facebook Face Mash. Offensive to some, but it relevant students create exclusive social experiences. Snapchat dismissed by adults as texting app, but teens love its spontaneity and intimacy. TikTok gets called cringe by critics, yet millions of Gen Z users are upset. The point is not to be obsessive for its own sake, but to be the ball in your value proposition. Don't aim to please everyone. Please your target users intensely, even outsiders roll their eyes. That's often the path from forgettable to culturally relevant. If some say I don't like this while your core users say I love this, you are hitting a real need or emotion. Remember, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Better to be loved by some and hated by others than ignored by everyone. A more reproducible testing process is more valuable than any single big idea. A team with more shots will win against a team with a revolution visual. Most ideas fail because the conditions needed for success are impossible to orchestrate. Think about it. Getting 7 adult friends to install an app on a reproducible basis? Not trivial. Twitter is a perfect example because it didn't start as a social media giant we know today. It grew from failed podcasting platform, evolved through hackathons and rapid experimentation, and became huge because the team kept testing how real users interacted with it. The takeaway? Focus on building a system to test and iterate. One brilliant idea means nothing if it's never validated. 100 mediocre ideas tested probably can get you much farther. Nothing slows a startup more than inconclusive tests. If your test leaves you saying maybe it would work with more users, you have failed before even learning. Each experiment must have clear success criteria, retention metrics, engagement, or network effect. If you get unclear results, it's time to improve your testing process, not just tweak the product. It's better to fail fast with a clear no than to waste months in a gray zone and unsure whether to pivot or persevere. Founders should treat ambiguous results as fire alarms. Something in your approach needs fixing, so you can test with conviction and move forward. Speed of learning is your competitive advantage as a startup. That's why one of the golden rules is don't wait too long to get your product in front of real users. If it's been 6 months and you still haven't let anyone outside the team touch your app, that's a red flag. Beta tests, pilots, even handing it to a small group can reveal problems you never imagined. Done is better than perfect, especially in the early stage. Iterate in public, not in vacuum. Also watch out for shortcuts. Big partnerships sound tempting. If company X promoted us, will explode, but relying on them is risky. Can you launch on your own? If not, your product isn't strong enough yet. Partnerships can help, but don't make them the core of your strategy. History is full of startups waiting for a white knight that never come. The winners? They drew users in with their product, not a promo deal. Build user by user, community by community, and the opportunities will follow. A common worry among founders is, what if Facebook or another big company copies us? It's true that big tech companies clone features and have vast resources. Facebook famously copied stories from Snapchat and Reels from TikTok, but the lesson from the past decade is don't let incumbents cycle you out. Users care about experience and community, not features alone. Snapchat survived despite clones. TikTok exploded because the product itself was addictive. The key is that unique distribution piece. Find channels or strategies to acquire users that the big guys aren't using or can't use. Maybe that's a grassroots community approach, or referral intensive, or a content strategy that hooks in external audience. Be creative and aggressive in growth, and don't lose sleep over big companies' competitors. The startup game focuses on the users, not the giants. Every breakout social app often looks a little strange or wrong in the context of what came before. By definition, if you create something truly new and successful, you're likely breaking some conventional rules. Maybe you are targeting a user group everyone else ignored, or encouraging a behavior that other apps discourage. This is why it's important to trust your gut as a founder and not blindly follow established playbooks. There is no guarantee formula for a hit. Twitter bet on brevity was 140 characters. Snapchat deleted messages by default. TikTok gave us For You page instead of just friends content. All counterintuitive and all wildly successful. The lesson for founders is to be willing to be an outliner. If you have a deep understanding of your target users and you notice they behave or desire something that current products aren't providing, you may have to break some product design rules to serve that need. Real signals from users, even small ones, can guide your rule-breaking ideas. Building social apps is a tough journey, but also one of the most rewarding when it works. These lessons still lay odds in your favor, but they don't ensure victory. You could do everything right and still struggle, or do a few things unconventionally and stumble in the head. There is always an element of timing, luck, and magic involved in social app taking off, so treat these insights as guiding stars, not hard rules. The real key is to know your users better than anyone else. If you deeply understand and group of people, their needs, frustration, desires, and daily habits, you will be the best positioned to deliver a product they love. And once you define something that clicks, you will feel the swell of momentum, the elusive product market fit, and should pour gasoline on the fire. Until then, stay hungry and keep experimenting. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons. Check the links below and follow us on social media for more tips and updates. And if you're ready to take your startup to the next level, visit Molfaro. We will help you build fast and smart. Catch you next time!